Hello, everybody. Welcome back to episode 2 in my 12-part series of my latest finds. These are going to be CD and vinyl finds, just 2 vinyl this time. I decided this year that I was going to show my recent finds on a monthly basis instead of sporadically. It just keeps things simpler and helps me remember what I've gotten within the month. Thank you to everybody that subscribed that haven't seen this series yet. I really appreciate it. I've gotten close to 100 new subscribers in the last couple of weeks just due to my contest entry and various other projects that I'm taking part in. So I want to thank you all very much. If you haven't made your contest entry video, you have until the 17th. So you still have a couple of weeks and a couple of extra days to do that. And just please let me know if you've done it, because I've had a few videos that I've found by luck that didn't leave a comment on the original video. So please leave a comment on the original video so that you're entered into the hat for the name drawing on March 17th. Now, I decided this month and the months going forward that I was going to show albums that haven't been part of VCLT videos. I've received a lot of VCLT, and for those of you that don't know, that means Vinyl Community Love Train. And what that is I receive gifts in the mail from other viewers and folks that have channels sending me albums that they think I might like. And I always do a video when I get that in the mail. And so I'm probably leaving out well over a dozen CDs and albums that I've gotten this month from other members. But with that being said, those finds have already been shown in previous videos. So these are solely albums that I've picked up on my own. So yeah, I appreciate you all understanding that, and I think that makes the video go a little bit shorter. But I'm already rambling. Let me go ahead and get started. This is the most recent album that I picked up, and I've got the sleeve off of it. This is the first live album by Grateful Dead member Bob Weir and his group, the Wolf Brothers. And this is a Live in Colorado album that came out just not too long ago. It came out on CD and vinyl. You have Bob Weir, Don Was, and Jay Lane are the predominant Wolf Brothers. But you've also got Jeff Tremeny on piano and Greg Leitz on pedal steel. And this is a really good live album. I listened to it for the first time yesterday because I just got this a couple days ago. You have great stuff on here. I'm not going to go into everything. I think I might do a review on this later on, so we'll see. Let me show. I've got a few. Let me just go ahead and knock out these. I got a bunch of Miles Davis albums. They were having a big sale for Valentine's Day, I think, and these were all like $6 on his website. So this is the album Miles Smiles. I'd never heard this album before. It's quickly becoming one of my favorite Miles Davis albums. Classic stuff on here. Just you've got Coltrane's on here. You've got I think it's his first quintet. So Miles Smiles. This is one that I know very well, but I've never owned it. Sketches of Spain, very awesome, like bolero kind of music. Really, really cool stuff on that. You have the album Roundabout Midnight. Again, you have Coltrane on here, Red Garland, Paul Chambers, and Philly Joe Jones. And again, another solid Miles effort. It's hard to go wrong with any of Miles's acoustic albums. And then I got one of his fusion albums, In a Silent Way, which I've never listened to before, but it's from 1969. I'm really excited to listen to this. I've still got it in the paper, in the shrink, so I'm excited to get into that. Next, this is an album by a trio called The Devil Makes Three. I know I've shown their album Redemption and Ruin in the past. If you like, I like to think of it as like gothic bluegrass, or it's bluegrass with a punk edge to it. You have great songs on here. This is their debut, self-titled. But you have songs on here like The Plank, Old Number 7, which is about Jack Daniels, The Bullet. Then you have some bonus tracks on here which are really good. Ocean's Cold, Nobody's Dirty Business is a favorite on here. So really great stuff. Check out The Devil Makes Three. Next, this is an album that I'm going to show in another video that I'm going to record tomorrow probably. This is an album called Young Man by Jamestown Revival. I did a review on that, so please check that out. Just a great duo, Americana kind of music, so check that out. Next, this is an album that I bought on a whim. This is a fellow I've never heard of before. His name is Steve Poultz. And as you can see, it's in a Ziploc bag and it is signed. And the reason it's in a Ziploc bag is because it's signed. It didn't cost extra to get it signed. It was how it came on his website. But the reason I got this album is because it is produced by Oliver Wood and John O'Ricks of the Wood Brothers. And anything that they touch, I'm kind of all into. Similar sounds to the Wood Brothers in his voice. His lyrics are a little comical, and he fits a lot of lyrics into his songs. Think Subterranean Homesick Blues amount of lyrics in most of his songs. So sometimes it can be a bit much. The comedy sometimes is a bit much, but it's good. It's got some good picking, and I've only given it one true listen. I've listened to some of the other songs individually, but yeah, check it out on Spotify before you buy it. Here's an album that I've never owned. This is Bringing Down the Horse by the Wallflowers. This is probably their biggest album. It opens with the classic One Headlight. And, you know, of course, we all know Jacob Dylan and the Wallflowers. I'm actually seeing the Wallflowers at the end of April, I think, or mid-April. Tickets were like $25 for general admission into a park just down the road from me. So I'm really excited to see them live. But this album, you have, you know, 6th Avenue Heartache and 3 Marlenas, just great stuff on there. Next, I've started getting into the Ramones, and I picked up Rocket to Russia last month. I went ahead and bought their debut. It was like $6, 40th anniversary edition. It sounds great. You know, they've got 14 songs on here, and it only goes about half an hour, if even. But y'all know this album. And I also got Road to Ruin. It was also like $6. I got this predominantly because it's got the cover of the song Needles and Pens, which I absolutely love. Of course, Tom Petty did that cover as well. But great stuff. I'm really getting into the Ramones. This is a re-release called 1 Year by Colin Blunstone. Now, Colin is the lead singer of the Zombies, still going at it, killer voice still. But this is one of his solo albums that came out after the Zombies broke up. I think in 1971. This was the 50th anniversary reissue. Now you have the original album on here called 1 Year, and then you have a second side. It's called That Same Year, which is a lot of newer songs that haven't been released and some alternate takes of the album. But beautiful songs on here like Misty Roses, Though You Are Far Away, I Can't Live Without You is a great one. And this is produced by, sorry, I've got a baked potato in the oven. It's just preheated. And it's got a lot of the session players are the band Argent, which of course Rod Argent was also in the Zombies. And you have some co-writes on here with Rod Argent and Chris White, also of the Zombies. So really cool. If you like Nick Drake, check this album out. Here's another really good album. Now, I'm going to talk about this a little bit more in depth on another video. This is the Cactus Blossoms' new album called One Day. Now, I'd never heard of the Cactus Blossoms until my friend Randall Nelson, that I'm sure y'all know. If you don't, subscribe to his channel. He commented on one of my videos and mentioned the Cactus Blossoms. And it's funny because I get a lot of comments for people recommending music, and I don't always follow through because you get so many comments. It's hard to keep up with the number of artists that people recommend to you. But I do it, for the most part, I do check it out. And I listened to one song on this, fell in love with it. The song is called Hey Baby. And I've listened to the other songs, and I bought this thing. So thank you, Randy. But I think Everly Brothers meets some Marshall Crenshaw meets like Seals and Croft. Just really good. And they're brothers, so it's got great brotherly harmonies. Next, this is the 2-disc archive edition of Venus and Mars by Wings. I don't need to say anything else about this album. I'm just getting into Paul McCartney's solo discography. So this is the newest member of the collection. Fell in love with the song on the bonus disc called Sally G, country song. Check it out if you don't know it. It's fantastic. Speaking of Colin Blunstone, this is the 50th anniversary of Odyssey and Oracle. I had this album on CD already, and it's a good sounding copy, but I've kept meaning to pick this version up because it's remastered. Plus, you have 7 more bonus tracks on here, and this is one of my top 5 favorite albums of all time. So any other little missing piece of this album that I can get my hands on, I'll try to. And maybe one day it'll be released as a mega box set, in which case I'll be all over it. Last couple of CDs here. This is a double CD by Mandolin Orange called Haste Make and Hard Hit Stranger. This came out in 2011. This is their second album, and it's really two albums. Really good stuff. 9 songs on either disc. Just, folky. They've got bluegrass roots, but they're not a bluegrass duo. They're a husband and wife duo. Kind of melancholy lyrics. It's definitely a mood. You don't want to put this on and listen to the whole discography, but I do own their whole discography, and I've really come to love them in the last year or so. So, Mandolin Orange. And this is their first album, which completed the collection. Quiet Little Room. Great stuff on here. These Old Wheels. 1,000 Amen. Life on a String is good. Your Crying Eyes. It's more of the same. It came out a year before the previous record, so check out that as well. And my last CD, another new one and a contender for best album of 2022 so far. This is Brent Cobb. His new gospel album called And Now Let's Turn the Page. And it was produced by his cousin Dave Cobb, who's produced a ton of Americana groups, including Chris Stapleton and Lucas Nelson. And he does a bunch of hymns on here, but in his style, in his like neo-country outlaw style. And he's also got an original on here called When It's My Time. Killer, beautiful song. It's about his grandma who had passed away a couple of years prior. All right, and I've got 2 vinyl records, and I'll be out of your hair here. This is an album that my friend Tommy he didn't pressure me to get it, but he mentioned that he was picking it up and said that I better get my hands on it because it looked like it was going out of print. And that is Christmas Party by the Monkees. And it's starting to go up in price. It's probably about $35 now. I bought it not for that, but it looks like they're starting to wane this out. This is not open. I haven't opened it yet. I probably won't for a good while. Not until I get a turntable working. But this is either going to be red or green vinyl. So I'm excited to know what it is, but it's okay. And lastly, I got finally a copy of Damn the Torpedoes by Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. This is their 3rd album. This was released on his store for Valentine's Day. They were releasing 125 copies of this. Now, I think this was mass released earlier. This is a 2016 pressing, and I think it came out on this color. And I think that the reason that it was Valentine's Day, so obviously they wanted to show the red vinyl, clear vinyl, and they had 125 extras, I guess, that they were trying to get rid of. So there was kind of a swarm on those albums. He was also putting out a look at that, that's so cool. He was putting out a blue version of Full Moon Fever as well, and I think that was 200 copies. This was 125 copies, and I was fortunate enough to snag one, and it was pretty daggone cheap. So, and I didn't have a copy of this at all. So, on vinyl. So, there you go. Sorry the video went long, but I only put these out once a month. So, hopefully you can indulge me in this. Let me know if any of these albums are ones that you like. A lot of them are lesser known, which is kind of what I like to go for these days. So, I appreciate y'all watching, and I will be back next with my February music wrap up. So, y'all stick around.